Hello everybody, this is James Daly. I'm back for another video. The goal of this channel is for me to learn 12 songs, at least 12 songs in all 12 keys, fluently and without mistakes. Fluently and without mistakes. And so my goal is to practice one song a month that I'm going to take in every key, put it in every key, and one song. So focus on one song, do it in every key for a month. The next month, move on to the next song, put it in every key until, like I said, I get it fluent and without mistakes. I'm sorry if you hear background noise. I got the fans on and the AC on in the room, so you may hear it. I don't know. You probably won't, but we'll see. But we're gonna go for it anyway, because it's kind of hot today and it's been cool. It's been like fall all week. So the goal of this channel is for accountability for me. I want to document my progress, and if I never get views on this channel, it's fine. That's not what it's for. If I do, then that's fine. I build a YouTube channel in the process. And it also can help others to understand what the process really is. When someone, older adult or even beginner or whatever, is going through the process, especially in church. If you're a gospel musician and you're in church, well, you should understand by now how important it is to know how to play a song in every key. And unfortunately for me, I've been playing for 30 years and I never had the motivation to learn everything in all keys. And it wasn't until I got an invitation to play for a big Baptist church, and I played for them for 12 years. The first assignment they gave me, it was a list of 25 songs. They gave me a whole bunch of tapes. It was around 2007. They gave me a whole bunch of tapes and stuff. That's when tapes was still a thing. And I had to learn all the songs. And a lot of it was songs that they had recorded. They had recorded their own church services and certain songs that couldn't be found on the internet or, just in record stores or whatever. Because, they were still selling CDs and stuff back then. And so I took a whole bunch of tapes home after we had the meeting hiring me for the church. And I had to learn 25 songs in like 2 weeks. That was the largest thing I ever had to do. And during that time, what I would do is I would take songs, any songs I wanted to learn, I would take it and put it all in A flat. I put it all in A flat. And then at the time, the church did have one of those XB3 organs that had the transpose button on it. So I cheated for a little while when I first started. But after a while, that organ broke and they had to use an old organ that they had in the back. But by that time, fortunately, I learned so many songs and I realized that, hey, this is overwhelming trying to learn it all in A flat and stuff. Maybe I should just try to learn it in the original key. And one thing about me is I always had a good ear. I've always been able to like flesh out the notes. If I sit with it long enough, I'll eventually figure it out. Even the complicated stuff, I was always good with learning music. Now, when it came to practical application, that's a different story. I get in front of the crowd and I start messing up, and I was known for that. And so getting laughed off the stage was something that was common for me. And matter of fact, if you look on Facebook sometimes, you get these people who list their musicians in the area. Oh, these are the great New York musicians, or these are the great Connecticut musicians, or just the musicians in general, just listening to gospel musicians on Facebook. And every time those come up, I never get mentioned. My name is never mentioned. And some people who play worse than me get mentioned before I do. I'm never mentioned on those lists. So that goes to show you that people don't. And I play currently. I quit for 5 years. After I left the Baptist church, I quit. They wanted to lower my pay because the church was, there was a lot of people leaving. And they was like, well, we're losing money, and so we're going to have to cut your pay at half. And I was like, hell no. And I left. Like, no, you're not going to, you still want me to play for 5 choirs, do 5 songs a Sunday, and you want to pay me half of what you used to give me? No, I'm out. And so, and that church already had did a lot of damage to me mentally. So after that, I was like done with it. And then the pandemic hit, and all the churches shut down. And so I just found an opportunity to stop going to church altogether. I was like, oh, this is great. I don't have to go to church, and I don't have to play, and I'm free from that. And I got a good job, and, you know, started building myself out in the marketplace, and got my CDL and tripled my income and bought a house and all this stuff. And then my son, who plays the drums, taught by one of the great legends in Connecticut, Dexter Pettaway. You know, was getting lessons from Dexter since he was little. And so Jaden started getting good. He started getting good. And Dexter was like, listen, I got a church that need a drummer. It's $50 a week. You want Jaden to come and play? And I said, yeah, sure, of course. That was my dream for Jaden, is like have my son kind of follow in my footsteps and get a gig. He got his first gig at 12 years old. Yeah, I was like, yeah, this is nice. I think he was younger than that. And so eventually Dexter had left to go to another church and play organ, because he plays the drums and he plays organ too. He went to be minister of music at another church, and the church knew I could play, and then they asked me to start playing for them, and it kind of thrusted me back into this whole playing thing, which I thought I was through with. So, but you know, it's kind of a gift. It's kind of a gift because I get to play with my son on every Sunday. But the other thing is that I don't feel that I'm good. I don't feel that I'm good enough. But I guess sometimes good enough is good enough. You know, I could play a service. I learn songs. I know how to play it correctly. But I mess up a lot, and I'm down on myself a lot. And I was really going to quit. Just like I stopped playing for 5 years, and now I'm back. And so I was like, well, you know what? Let me actually get serious about this. Is there a way to motivate myself to do what I need to do? This thing that I have been avoiding for 30 years, and didn't do it while I was in high school because I was too busy running around with my friends and chasing girls and whatnot. And I was distracted. And the same thing played out in my adult life. Even though I was married, what was happening is I was being distracted in other ways. Whether it's TV or just being too lazy or being too tired or making excuses. And I would start to learn a song, and I would learn a song in all 12 keys, and then I would stop playing and give up, and you know, and the cycle goes on. So I'm like, well, how can I remedy this? How can I, as an older adult learner at this point, you know, how can I remedy this? And the remedy was I'm sorry, I'm talking too long. I'll give you a time link so you get right to the lesson. Not lesson, but the playthrough. How can I remedy this and get myself together? And it came in the form of YouTube. I've built YouTube channels before. I had a more spiritual channel with 8,500 subscribers. It was getting money from it, and then YouTube demonetized me because that's before AI became popular. And so I was using a lot of AI already before like OpenAI and ChatGPT was a thing. I was using AI in other ways to build the channel, and YouTube would punish you for that. Now you could kind of use the things that I was using now to make videos, but they punished me and they demonetized me, and so the channel is kind of useless. And so I know how to build YouTube channels, and that's not something that I easily forgot. I'm like, well, you know, maybe I could use this as an accountability tool. And I listen to a lot of marketing and watch a lot of internet marketing stuff and a lot of YouTube courses. And one thing they say is just record your journey. And I'm like, well, what the hell am I going to record? Because I really have nothing that's interesting to people. I mean, I know I had the weight loss surgery, but that failed because I gained all my weight back. What am I going to record about that for? Like, I'm not really caring about that right now. And it's something that's been right in front of my face the whole time. Something I've been avoiding because I avoid it because I don't feel I'm good at it. So it's something I avoid. When I feel like I'm bad at something, I just don't bother with it. And I think that's part of the reason why I quit in the first place, because I had imposter syndrome, still do. Still don't feel I deserve to get paid for it. I get paid every Sunday to play. That still don't think I deserve it, because I think I'm a mediocre musician. But however, I'm like, okay, I do want to build a YouTube channel. Why don't I use it for accountability? And there's a lot of questions I have when it comes to playing music. I have a lot of questions concerning it, and how do you do this, and how long does it take to learn, and how long does it take for you to get to the point where you could just play and hear it off the top of your head and play it on the keys and stuff like that. Nobody answers those questions. I was like, well, I guess I better figure this out for myself through trial and error, and I could just do it by taping myself. So I made a promise to myself that every time I practice this piano, I'm going to turn on the camera for documentation for myself, whether people watch or not. And so that's the purpose of this channel. And the goal, again, is to learn 12 songs in all 12 keys. And hopefully I make it and don't give up. I hope I follow through, because I have a bad reputation of not following through, a bad reputation with myself. All right, so I'm going to go through the song I've been practicing. It's the first song for August. It's "Oh Give Thanks." Still making mistakes, still a lot of hesitation. Sometimes I'll get through like 5 keys, and then all of a sudden I start tripping up on the 6th key, and then from there it's just the avalanche of mistakes, as I call it, and it just goes downhill from there. And that's just the story of my life when it comes to church music. It's like once I make the mistake, then all hell breaks loose, and just it goes from there. And so we want to get it proficient. We want to get it to I learn it like the back of my hand, so I could, not make mistakes, no hesitation. And then when I get it to that point where I could at least play it 3 times over without mistakes or hesitation, then I'll move on to the next song and start practicing that. The hope is to get 12 songs and 12 keys in 1 year. That's the hope, but it looks like it may take longer for me to get that accomplished. Also, with this channel, I'll be just fleshing through songs that I like and just learning them and showing my process of when I learn a song and just sharing that with you as well. But in this video, I'm going through the 12 key challenge with "Oh Give Thanks." And let's see, maybe I'll get it right today. We'll see. All right, let's go. when I thought I had it. So close. Hesitation. Okay. That was really, really good. Whoa. I was almost there. Oh man. I was almost there. I messed up in G. Right? I messed up in G. For he is good. I fumbled on the bass line there in G. And in A, I hesitated. For he is worthy. Right there. I hesitated because I kind of lost my place. But wow, that's the furthest I've gone without making a mistake. Usually, I'll start in C, and by the time I get to either D or E, then the mistakes will start. And that didn't happen today. So, wow. Now, I won't count on the same blessings as I go. I won't say luck. I won't count on the same blessings as I probably won't encounter the same blessings as I did the first time around, because I'm well known. My mind and my hands are well known for fumbling. Get it right the first time, right? But the second time around, then all of a sudden it's an avalanche of mistakes. So we're gonna do this a couple more times through and see how far I could get without making mistakes or hesitations. But wow, that was a really good run through. So I'm hopeful that I won't have to go past, if this keeps on going, I won't have to go past August with this song. I can start a new song in September, which would keep me on track with what I need to do, which is 12 keys in 1 year. Okay, 12 songs and 12 keys in 1 year. All right, let's try it again. Let's see what happens. All right, no foot pedal. I'm not doing any foot pedal because you got to learn how to do it without foot pedal, because you get too dependent on that thing. And then one day, if it clunks out on you in the middle of a service, then what you gonna do? So it's better to practice without it. So it might sound a little clunky and stuff. My hands are funny. I have weird fingerings. I don't like it, but gonna work through that. We're gonna improve. We're gonna improve. That's what this is for my improvement. All right, let's go. Damn it. Mess up. Hesitation. See? Avalanche of mistakes. Avalanche of mistakes. All right. So, um, so I made mistakes in, was that in E, and I think in G. All right. So back to the earlier mistakes, starting in early keys with mistakes, but it still was good. Still is better than what it has been. So it is coming along. That's good. It's not avalanche of mistakes where it's just like you make one mistake and then I'm doing it in every key. That's been my pattern, but today's pretty good. My Starbucks. You made it kind of watered down today. I don't know. It's not really sweet. Mocha cookie crumble. It's my favorite, but the baristas over there, they've been falling off lately. It's not as tasty as it used to be. Some make it good, but lately I've been getting really all right, so let's go through it one more time, and then we're done for the day. But I'm encouraged. I think this is video 14 or 15. So okay, hopefully by video 20, because we're almost out of the month. We'll see. We're almost out of the month. We got one more week. So I hope I get it. But if not, if I have to go over the month, if I have to go over into September, spill over into September with this, it's fine, because it's only going to get more complicated in here. It's a fairly easy song. We'll give thanks. It's only going to get more complicated in here. I mean, I got another song to be working on that's kind of easy. It's when I really start getting them James Hall songs and putting them through the keys, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a whole ordeal. No, it might take me 2 years to accomplish my goal. We'll see. All right, one more. Let's do this. Start over again. See? Messing up. Whoa. See? What's happening? Just when I'm encouraged, then everything starts falling apart. See? Soon as I get encouraged and things look like it's going great, then everything falls apart. I hate that. I hate it. And it happens all the time. Can I get a continuous, like, great, a continuous, like, perfect play? Like what? everything's falling apart. Oh my God. The last time around, really? The first two times were great. And now all of a sudden my fingers are falling apart. Like, what is going on? Why does that happen? Is there something wrong with me? Am I not meant to play? Sometimes I feel like I'm not supposed to play the piano. Like, why does this happen? Ugh. Maybe it's not my anointing. I don't know. Who knows? This is annoying. This is annoying to me. Ugh. Okay. So we got through it. The first 2 times was great. Made a couple mistakes, but it wasn't that big. Third time around, just like, whoa, yikes. Crash and burn. I'm interested in how my mind works, because it's just so weird how my mind works. I don't know. Do y'all experience it like I'm experiencing? Is it just me, or do some of y'all? If you're watching, I don't know. You might not have any viewers watching this, but if you ever do stumble your way upon this video and you hear my question, do you experience what I'm experiencing when you practice? Does it start off good, and then the more you do it, the worse it gets? Huh? I don't know. I feel like it's just me. I don't know. But anyway, that's the end of that video, and we'll try it again. I don't know if I could do it tomorrow. I know the weekend, so weekend's pretty busy this weekend. So if I can tomorrow, I'll get to it. But if not, I'll be back on Monday. Tomorrow or Monday, we'll see. All right, take care. Thanks for watching.